What Girls Want focal points. We are very much excited to have you join us today as we're going to have this robust conversation to celebrate the young feminist leadership in transforming patriarchal masculinities and in dealing with challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis as young people. My name is Nyasha Fanisa Sitole. I'm a program officer with MenEngage Alliance, and I'm just going to take the role of kickstarting us today to this our celebration where we are talking about young feminists on masculinities, power, and the sustainable development goals. So for today, I would love to just quickly run through on the way that we can be organizing here. So we do have translation available, live interpretation that is available in French and Spanish. So for you to be able to access that, may you kindly look at the bar below your screen and choose where it's written more. You will see the globe that's around there, which looks like the earth. Then from there, you can select either English, which is the original language that most of our speakers will be using, or French or Spanish for translation. We apologize that we have not been able to provide other South Asian languages that we're supposed to provide due to some technicalities that we're facing within Zoom, but we'll do our best to ensure we try and interact with everyone using the chat as well. Next slide. As we're also going to be engaging with each other in the space, I would like to also bring your attention to what we call participation guidelines as MenEngage Alliance. As we are convening this space together, we are hoping that we can be able to interact in a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment so that we can all be able to achieve a positive learning and engaging experience for everyone. So please bear in mind this kind of guidelines, and we would love to invite you, if it's possible, to put on your video so that we can be able to see you and interact with you. And as we are going to be doing these conversations and the interactions, kindly note that for today, we hope that it can also be exciting for us to be engaging you, and we'll be using Mentimeter for quite a lot of the conversations, where we'll be asking you, giving you a link in the chat, and you can also type in a language that you're comfortable with to respond to the conversations that we shall also be sharing via Mentimeter. With that, if you also need any technical support or assistance, please feel free to chat directly to my colleagues who are here with me from MenEngage Alliance, which includes Jon van de Sant, one of our co-directors. And we also have Paul Ruban, our people manager person. And there's also Kuram. If you could also directly text for any support that you might need, technical support. So with that, please also allow me to introduce the person who's going to give us the welcome remarks as we start this fabulous and wonderful day for celebration. Please allow me to invite and introduce Alex Nelson. Alex Nelson is and also to highlight that, please can everyone stay off mute unless you have been invited to speak. And as the moderators for the session at some point, we are also going to be muting people in the event that we feel that is disruptive. So thank you for your understanding on that. So please allow me to welcome Alex Nelson, who is MenEngage Alliance member from NAMEN, North American region. Alex is a recent graduate from the University of Denver with a master's degree in human rights. He spearheads a NAMEN chapter at Koppel School at the University of Denver. Alex, as a YRG member, continues to advocate for gender justice across various contexts. And Alex is also the current co-chair of the MenEngage Alliance Global Youth Reference Group. Over to you, Alex, for the welcome remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Nyasha, for setting the stage for today's webinar. Welcome, everyone, to Celebrating Resistance, Sparking Change, Young Feminists on Masculinity, Power, and the SDGs. I'm thrilled that we're gathered here today in solidarity with youth leaders across the globe. Many of us are also part of the MenEngage Alliance network. As a social change network, Operating in 92 countries, MenEngage Alliance seeks to collectively understand, challenge, and transform patriarchal masculinities. This is more than just a webinar. It's a powerful space of connection, reflection, and collective visioning. Today, we recognize and uplift the achievements of our incredible speakers, whose leadership continues to shape bold, intersectional feminist futures. Leadership, especially youth leadership, plays a vital role in challenging systems of power, dismantling patriarchal norms, and reimagining what justice can look like. As a North American member of the Youth Reference Group, I've collaborated with and witnessed firsthand leaders forging these pathways. Let me take a moment to highlight the YRG, which was established in 2017 to bring together youth activists and experts from across MenEngage regional networks. Since its formation, the YRG has been at the forefront of shaping the strategic direction of the Alliance. Through international advocacy, shared learning, and dynamic movement building efforts, the YRG continues to strengthen and center meaningful youth leadership in our collective work. We're especially excited to be hosting this event on International Youth Day, a moment to not just mark our youth contributions, but to actively create space for us as young feminists to celebrate our leadership and promote cross-border solidarity, engage in strategic conversations on transforming patriarchal masculinities through intersectional feminist praxis, and spotlight innovative youth-led practices of resistance and movement building in the face of mounting backlash. So, thank you for being here. Let us honor the power of youth feminist leadership, and let's do it together. I will now introduce our moderator, Mewish Arshad. Mewish is the co-chair of the Youth Reference Group at MenEngage Alliance and program manager at the United Global Organization of Development, UGOD. She's a nationally recognized child rights and gender justice advocate, serving as the national coordinator of the Child Rights Movement and National Action Coordination Group, Pakistan, representing over 500 plus civil society organizations. Passionate about amplifying youth voices, Mewish has led youth engagement initiatives, intergenerational dialogues, and policy advocacy for gender equality, ending child marriage, and transforming patriarchal masculinities. She's also the alumna of the National Feminist Sangat course, which strengthened her feminist leadership and movements building skills. With over a decade of experience, she continues to build youth leadership, create inclusive civic spaces, and champion feminist approaches to social change. Without further ado, I now pass the mic to Mewish.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for, Nyasha for setting the tone, and thank you so much for the welcome remarks. And happy International Youth Day to all from my side. We are very much excited because it's our day. And as you know, Alex has set such a powerful tone. So let's warm up the room, or should I say just ignite it. So we are doing a very quick interactive quiz to celebrate our collective knowledge and youth leadership. So this is your chance to have some fun, test your awareness, and maybe learn something new along the way. So here my team will, drop the some Mentimeter link in the chat right now. And you guys just click it and type your name or nickname if you want to be called with your nicknames. And let's get started. And we will see our leaderboard update live. So I just want to inform you that friendly competition is welcome and bragging rights included as well. So, and if you can't access the Mentimeter, so you can drop your answers in the chat box as well. So over to the, Global Secretariat team. So you guys just drop it here and we can all see the questions in the Mentimeter. Yeah. I hope it's visible for each and everyone.
I don't see it in the chat. Can someone add the link in the chat?
From your voice is very low. Can you speak?
I was saying if someone can add the link in the chat. Okay, people are here.
Okay. Okay, so the link is here for the Mentimeter. Guys, please join and click on it. You guys can see a screen where questions are popping so we can, reply to those and have some fun and learning. So the question is, what is the theme for 2025 International Youth Day? You guys can see 4 different options in front of your screen. So please click on one of them and we can see what's the result. Okay, so next question is, which of the following is not one of the... Sorry, someone is speaking. Yeah. Okay, done. And you see it's your answer correct. Okay, Raj, you have problem with that. So if you can please recheck it. Okay, we have the results and 25, we have the result of 25 that only one has shared that no poverty, but it's space exploration. It's not part of the SDGs, but we do have zero hunger, quality education. It's SDG 4. Yeah, so these are the results on the leaderboard. Okay, now move to the next question. Which statement is true on the linkages between masculinity and SDGs? Okay, so we have the responses in front of you. Option B was the right answer, and we have the maximum responses for that. Okay, so you guys can see on the screen who is leading. Next question, question number 4. When is International Youth Day celebrated annually? So I guess I have already given you guys hint. Okay, time up. Yes. Fine. So 32% know that it's on 12th of August. It's today. That's why we are here and celebrating it. Next question. How many sustainable development goals are there in total? Guys, as I am, speaking questions for you here as well. So in case you are unable to do it on Mentimeter, you guys feel free to put your answers in the chat as well. We are, checking that as well. So yeah, it's also included and counted. Okay, so we have 17 SDGs goals. 23 people have correct answers. Yeah. Okay, I can see in the chat box. Thank you, Geeta. And sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Wilberforce. Moving to the next question. How can youth engagement in community programs focused on gender equality directly contribute to SDGs 5? So option are by challenging harmful gender stereotypes and advocating for gender. Number B is by increasing the number of political debates. C, by fundraising for international corporations. Or D, by moving to a different country. Okay, so option A, 29 responses. Thank you, guys. Here's the leaderboard. Moving to the next question. What is the term for a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women and gender diverse people are largely excluded from? Option A, patriarchy, B, socialism, C, democracy, and D, matriarchy. Okay, I can see in the chat box as well, A, patriarchy. And wow, each and everyone who has responded have responded the correct answer. Yeah, it's a win. So let's move to the last question for this session of Mentimeter. The concept of transforming masculinities primarily aims to achieve which of the following? A, encourage men to adopt traditional gender roles more strictly. All forms of masculinity are inherently harmful and should be finished. Number C, promote the idea that men should suppress their emotions. And D is understand that male strength is emotional intelligence and care. Okay. So people were confused, but 11 people have selected option D, which is the right answer. Now let's move to the leaderboards. Yeah. Yay. So we can see. Thank you so much, everyone, for going through the quiz. And I hope it was a fun and learning activity for you guys as well. So yeah, let's move to the next part, next session. And I would love to, I will request the Global Secretariat team. I will call the names of the panelists so you guys can, highlight their pictures here so they can say hi and wave each and everyone, and I'll introduce them as well. So here we do have panelists with us, and I will share their bios as well, so you guys can what incredible work the guys are doing. And yeah, so let's hear from the powerhouse panel. And we are joined by incredible young feminist leaders from across the movement, and each bringing stories of resistance, creativity, and transformation. So panelists, there are some rules for you guys that you guys have only 3 minutes each. So let's keep the space very sharp so we can include the audience reflection as well, because they are here and we want to hear from them as well. So we have with us panelist one, Pooja Shrestha. She is from Nepal. And she is kicking us from very beautiful hills of Nepal. Pooja is a vice president of Hami Dajuwai and team leader of the National Indigenous Women Forum. She is currently pursuing her PhD in gender studies with a focus on masculinities and has over a decade of experience in gender equality and social inclusion. She is a proud Sangat Feminist Network, oh, me too, alum and former Youth Steering Committee member of MenEngage South Asia. Pooja has been tireless advocate for engaging men in gender equality work. Today, she is bringing her deep expertise and lived experience to our conversation on transforming patriarchal masculinities. Okay, our second panelist is Lassana from Senegal. So from West Africa, representing the power of youth leadership in peace and equality, Lassana is a WILPF Young Leader Network focal point from Africa, based in Dakar, Senegal, an economic planning engineer by profession. He is one of the only men serving as a focal point in his role, proof that men have essential place in the fight for gender justice. So his advocacy tackles militarized masculinities and men's active involvement in ending violence against women. Today, he is bringing the African perspective to how we can challenge harmful power structures. Okay, we have panelist number 3, Nadia, and she's from Namibia. From Southern Africa, bringing fire, creativity, and fearless feminism. Nadia is a feminist women's rights activist on a mission to amplify voices, courage, and leadership of marginalized women, adolescent girls, and young women in Namibia. She uses the creative arts as a bold tool to disrupt and transform harmful social and cultural narratives. Today, she's bringing an intersectional feminist lens on how we build movement that lasts and so on. And last but not least, we have panelist number 4, Andy. Andy is a public health and human rights professional from Albania with over 13 years of experience leading youth program on SRHR, gender equality, and peace building, a UN Albania gender equality champion since 2018. He is the founder of National Forum Men and Boys Who Inspire and a member of MenEngage Alliance Youth Reference Group. In 2024, he was honored by the Ministry of Health and Social Protection by promoting gender equality and engaging men and boys. He currently serves as a director of Youth Voice Network of Organization. So I welcome all of the panelists here on board. And my first question, I'll share it with you guys so you guys can brainstorm and make some responses to that as well. Okay, so first question is, as a young feminist, what are you celebrating this International Youth Day and what contributed to this success? Highlight wins and positive strategies. So yeah, I would like to pass it to Pooja. Can you speak? Yeah. Pooja, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself. Pooja, we can't hear you. No, still. Sorry, Pooja. Okay, meanwhile, we can move to Nadia. Nadia, you have heard the question. You can go first. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Once again, my name is Nadia, and correction, I'm actually from Namibia and not from South Africa. To celebrate this International Youth Day, I think my celebration is the recognition of gender equality in certain countries, and especially looking at the context of Namibia, where we have the first female president. And in her campaign and mandate, she has been very inclusive of the youth and empowerment of youth, where she has now that she's a president, she's pushing for us to have free tertiary education. She is pushing for us to be involved in major oil and gas industries in terms of the involvement of youth by making sure that we have like a volunteer volunteer policy where all governmental industries, ministries make sure that there is paid volunteering for youth to be involved and for the development of their skills. So that's a major celebration from Namibia from my side, but it also speaks volume in terms of the country's gender equality and where we are, having the first female president, having top positions of women such as the member of the National Assembly, as well as the vice president as the president. I mean, so that for me is a celebration because it took years of advocacy from the women's movement and the feminist movement in terms of having zebra policy, the gender policy in the country. So that's a major win, a major celebration. In terms of the continent, in terms of the country. If we look at the continent itself as well, with what ATHENA What Girls Want network, having 10 countries have focal points and positions where we have local cohorts where we have 50 girls in each country that has a platform where they can voice, engage, and be part of engaging international and be part of setting the agenda from themselves and having the voice and reality brought into in terms of organizing, making decisions, and having the agenda on the platform. So that is also a major celebration for the International Youth Day for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadia. And sorry, it's from Namibia. I just mixed it. Yeah. Thank you. So we'll just move on to Andy. Can you please unmute yourself? Yeah.
I hope that you can hear me pretty well.
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much and happy International Youth Day. I'm very happy to be with you and to share my thoughts about regarding the feminist agenda and what we are doing at national and not only international level regarding the promoting gender equality and involving men and boys as main allies to achieve gender equality. So, as you mentioned, I'm executive director of the Youth Network in Albania. Since this year we have 10 years, a decade working on gender equality, reproductive health, and youth peace and security. So not only we celebrate, the commitment that we have to gender equality, social justice, and meaningful youth participation, but also we have placed young men and boys as active allies, not only in advancing gender equality, but also in promoting reproductive health, sexual health and rights, and youth engagement participation at all levels, not only into the organization and network, but also in different democratic process in Albania. This has been backed by practical programs and a dedicated study on youth engagement, providing evidence to guide gender policy and programs in Albania. And recently, we have done research why men and boys in Albania are not engaged for gender equality. It is a powerful study that the data have shown a lot of information for us and for other organizations, academia, and institutions to take measures and to involve more men and boys. Youth Voice is working to integrate gender equality education through a gender transformative approach, training youth workers in Albania organization and school using innovative mechanisms in both formal and informal education settings. Also, we have empowered dozens of young leaders who now apply these principles that I mentioned before in their communities, in their activism, challenging patriarchal norms and promoting positive masculinities. Regarding sexual and reproductive health and rights, what we celebrate is the fact that as a network, we have put new standards in Albania and in the region how to work and to promote youth-friendly services, comprehensive sex education, menstrual justice, etc., using peer-to-peer methodology, and being the only youth network in Albania and partnering with government and to engage men and boys to achieve reproductive health and rights. Regarding you mentioned peace building as our focus in Albania, regarding the youth peace and security, we have tried to localize the resolution 2215 Albania, engaging young people in the dialogue and action to build trust and prevent conflict and violence, including virtual gender-based violence, misogyny that is very popular around our region right now. Regarding mental health, because one of the main focus that recently we have involved in our programs is mental health work. We have been created safe spaces and link emotional well-being with education on rights and equality and health services. This achievement are the results of a strong partnership, especially with UNFPA in Albania, and a firm belief in the power of young people and evidence-based strategy. Today we celebrate because we have seen real change, young men becoming champions of equality, girls gain access to education, communities becoming safer and more inclusive. Of course, that we are proud that tomorrow we are going to continue because youth are not just the future, but they are the present, and our voice must be heard at every table where the present and the future is decided. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andy. And now, Pooja.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. So thank you, Mavish. And hello, everyone. Namaste from Nepal. So, as a young feminist from Nepal, reflecting on this International Youth Day, I find myself at a crossroads of hope and also frustration. I belong to a country where, leadership remains dominated by individuals well into their 80s. So, which is a signal and which says they don't trust the younger generation. But presently, there are emerging signs of change. Young mayors and leaders are stepping forward, challenging the current situation and demonstrating that age is not a barrier for effective governance. Also, in history, for the first time, we have a young person who got elected as a mayor and majority supported him. We have young person who got he just maybe 27. So we also have in a history for a first time like 25 27 who elected as a parliamentarian. So this is a good sign, and as a young feminist I support and promote these youth politicians through many mediums. I also like to share one of the recent incidents where what happened is like there came a news in social media that the government was about to pass a law along polygamy, where a man could have more than one wife. Then what happened is like the civil society groups, including young feminist organizations like ours, we spoke out strongly against it through social media and other platforms. And because of these collective actions, the government stopped and halted the decision. So this is the power of young people. Um, Also, being a student of gender and working on this men engagement, what I see from the lens of masculinity and men engagement is that it's crucial to recognize that the journey towards gender equality it's not solely a woman's issues. Men, especially young men, they play a pivotal, very important role in reshaping this societal norms and advocating feminist ideals. So by engaging in dialogues about like toxic masculinity, advocating for equitable policies, and standing as an ally, these main, all the main can contribute to a more inclusive and for a just society. In my journey so far, I don't see it as a story of success till now, but there are still many challenges ahead and so much more to be done from my side and from my organization side where I belong. Uh, from Hamida Jubai SDV, we have initiated main clubs where we are teaching young boys about masculinity and JC. We have established main leaders in different districts, held the family dialogues, workshops. These efforts have sparked small but meaningful changes among boys, such as recognizing the workload of women in their families and starting to share responsibilities. And yes, of course, these kinds of small efforts will help to reduce the burden of unpaid care work. Um, We have also seen positive changes in school settings. Also, for example, the school have started gender-friendly infrastructures, positive changes among teachers. We have also initiated a discussion among the boys, especially with men, about dating violence. Mm, yes, and also like to share one of my experience where I have recently visited one of the remote parts of Nepal, which is in higher mountain, and there we went to talk about the positive masculinity. And for them, it's a very new topic, and they haven't heard it, So it's like kind of uh, very new to them. So we have initiated dialogues on positive masculinity, parenthood with men. Um, so I feel that it is a long way to go, and by engaging men in dialogues about toxic masculinity, advocating for equitable policies, and um, make them standing as an ally, they can contribute to a more inclusive and just society. So, yes, and while there's much work ahead, the steps made by young feminists and their allies offer a beacon of hope for us. So, if we continue to challenge these deep rooted norms and advocate for inclusive leadership, we may move closer to a country where every young voice is heard and valued. Yes. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pooja. And I'll just request each and everyone, if you guys are on your laptop and on your phone as well, so please keep your, one device because it creates echo. Thank you very much. It was very inspirational, Pooja, when I got to know that a young mayor. Wow. So yeah, we will, listen more such of, good things from each and everyone. So yeah, moving to Lasana. Lasana, over to you. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Bonjour à tous. Sorry, I don't speak English. Merci à MenEngage de me donner l'opportunité de parler sur un sujet sur le
Lasana, go
féminisme.
ahead. Yeah, we can hear the live interpretation in English. So yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Ok. De me donner l'opportunité de parler sur le féminisme. Et voilà, avec l'adhésion des hommes. C'est pas du tout évident dans nos pays en Afrique ici. D'ailleurs, même mon engagement en faveur du féminisme pour la paix repose sur la conviction de l'égalité des genres. C'est un palier fondamental pour moi pour construire des sociétés stables et résilientes. Donc là, c'était mon idée de départ. Et comme ici en Afrique, nous avons des coutumes un peu dominées par le patriarcat, donc il fallait briser les coutumes. Et moi, je suis plutôt pour la justice et pour l'égalité et pour tout ce qui va avec. Donc, mon engagement a commencé, bon, je ne peux pas dire qu'il a commencé depuis 2010, parce que autant j'étais un peu un enfant qui suivait les actualités et voilà, qui aimait un peu voilà, ce qui se déroulait par rapport aux femmes. Donc, en 2010, il y a un tournant qui a un peu fait mon déclic, parce qu'ici au Sénégal, on a voté une loi sur la parité, où à l'Assemblée nationale, il devait y avoir le nombre d'hommes doit être égal au nombre de femmes à l'Assemblée nationale. C'était un premier combat gagné par les mouvements féministes ici au Sénégal. Mais c'est en 2012 que je me suis 2014 plutôt, que je me suis engagé entièrement, mais pas à WILPF, dans une autre organisation des droits des enfants, surtout des filles. Voilà, donc souvent les filles sont marginalisées, ils ne vont pas à l'école et tout. Donc je me suis engagé à les accompagner, voilà, et à faire de telle sorte que ces filles-là ont ce droit-là, parce que le droit de l'éducation est fondamental et consacré à l'UNICEF. Donc c'était un peu ça. Et WILPF est venu en 2022, disons. C'était un peu compliqué parce qu'ils ont organisé un webinaire ici. Il n'y avait pas trop d'hommes. Donc, moi, j'étais le seul homme. Il fallait comprendre le processus, comprendre WILPF, comment ça marche et tout. Chose que j'ai fait et je me suis voir dedans. Donc, je me suis engagé. Et depuis lors, voilà, je me suis engagé aux activités de WILPF et voilà, et à mieux ramener les hommes au combat des femmes. C'est pas un combat, pour moi, c'est pas un combat uniquement des femmes, mais c'est un combat pour l'humanité. Et le système patriarcal largement instauré ici en Afrique, où les hommes ont cette dominance, ont cette dominance sur les femmes. Donc là, ça doit cesser parce que voilà, c'était ça l'idée. Et la preuve en est que moi, je suis le seul homme, comme je l'ai tantôt dit, et vous-même vous l'avez présenté au début, je suis le seul homme des points focaux de WILPF. Donc, pour vous dire que mon engagement commence à continuer, même si au Sénégal, j'essaye de mobiliser les hommes autour de ce combat-là pour soutenir les femmes, pour soutenir voilà. Mais c'est pas du tout évident. C'est pas, j'avoue que je reçois, voilà, il y a trop de
Dear
barrières.
all, sorry, Lazana, apologies to really cut in. Mewish, it looks like for the rest of us, we can't hear the English interpretation. I'm not sure if you can hear it.
No, I can't hear it, but I was reading the caption. So yeah, I was able to, just read what he's saying.
Okay, so for the interpreters in French, unfortunately, we can't hear you. You are breaking in and off. So if you could kindly check your settings and ensure we can hear you. And alternatively, as my wish is suggesting, please check on your network, and then you could also put the transcriptions as well to just follow through. But please kindly check your interpretation to the French translators. Thank you. Yes, we can hear you now.
C'est bon. Oui, c'est bon, je peux? Ok, merci. Et pour
No,
moi,
you're
être un
breaking
homme,
off again. And I'm not sure if your other interpreter can come through because we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Oui, I can. Can you speak a bit longer sentences?
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's very patchy. So I guess meanwhile we sort it out. Let's get done with the panelist questions one number, and then we'll go to the Mentimeter. Meanwhile, we can see what we can do, and I'll request my team, because Lasana has already shared the English version of his answers as well. So I request if they can copy and paste in the chat so you guys can at least see. And meanwhile, please go to the captions, because I was going through it and it was, very much up to the mark. You guys can have an idea what Lasana wants to share. So yeah, because we know we have very limited time, we cannot, go into the very tricky things. We all know that glitches happens. We also, it's a technical glitch. So Lasana, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Ah, vraiment, sorry. Et pour moi, comme je l'ai tantôt dit, être un homme ne rime pas avec la froideur et la dominance. Voilà, donc les activités que j'ai menées ici, vous savez, en Casamance, où la guerre se vit depuis 1982, nous avons vu des femmes porter les poids d'un conflit qu'elles n'ont pas choisi. Et je rappelle que le conflit en Casamance, c'est le plus vieux conflit en Afrique et au monde d'ailleurs. C'est depuis en 1982 et ça continue jusqu'à présent. Et les femmes sont marginalisées, silencieuses, mais jamais brisées. Elles gardent toujours ce poids. Et notre combat là-bas n'était pas celui d'un soldat, mais celui d'un homme qui refuse que leur souffrance ne soit qu'un bruit de froid. J'ai écouté leur histoire, des femmes tendues la main dans les villages coupés entre deux. C'est un peu loin, Casamance, c'est environ 500 km ici de Dakar, là où je suis. Donc, il fallait leur venir en aide. Parce qu'un vrai homme ne se mesure pas à force de destruction, mais à la capacité de protéger et écouter. Donc, on a mené des activités pour être auprès des femmes, pour les accompagner. Et en me voyant, les hommes, en me voyant dedans, certains hommes se sont engagés et continuent de s'engager, voilà, pour pour mettre fin à la guerre et pour soutenir les femmes davantage. Et pour terminer, il y a un autre déclic aussi qui m'a un peu, voilà, c'est pas question qui m'a fait, c'est pas une question de malheur, mais je me dis qu'il y a plusieurs choses qu'on doit faire pour allier les hommes dedans. Je pense que c'était en 2024, mon expérience à 8 aussi a créé un déclic à 8 à Bangkok. Donc, j'étais le seul homme aussi de la délégation de WILPF. Donc, pour vous dire que les hommes manquent dans ce combat-là. Et voilà, donc, je porte ce combat-là non seulement en Afrique pour faire de telle sorte que les hommes puissent intégrer les mouvements féministes et les soutenir. Comme je l'ai tantôt dit au début de mes phrases, ce n'est pas une question de soutenir les femmes, mais c'est une question d'humanité et que voilà, le système patriarcal puisse être brisé. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, Lasana. And yeah, you have shared a lot regarding the Damascus war and everything and how, you have guys bring the gender equality. So yeah, it was very inspirational. Thank you so much. I was just, going through the captions. I hope others have also gone through the caption. And meanwhile, as I have requested, we will share the translated version of what Lasana has just shared with you guys in the chat. So you guys can go through it as well. Yeah. And yeah, okay, so I must say, wow, what an explosion of inspiration. And now it's turn for the dear audience. So you guys can see we do have a Mentimeter link here once again in the chat. So here, this same question is for you guys as well. So what are you celebrating this International Youth Day? And let's fill the screen with your wins. We have listened to these panelists, but now we want to listen from you guys as well. So please take some moment and do it in the Mentimeter, or maybe you want to fill it in the chats. Please go ahead. Param, can we share the Mentimeter link once again? Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, repeating the question once again, that what are you celebrating this International Youth Day? Kindly fill the screen with your wins. Okay, so we do have translated version of the questions, so you guys can see it and whatever language you guys prefer. So please write down your answers. Wow. So we do have some comments. Boys kissing in the streets. More. Drink and dance. Yeah. So as a young feminist, I'm celebrating stronger youth voices. Yeah. Stronger youth voices in gender equality, more girls in leadership, and action against gender-based violence. These wins came through digital activism and intersectionality, I guess. So yeah, word limit has just, limited your answer as well. So yeah, I guess this is what you guys want to say. celebrating with our youth members. Yeah, like we guys are doing right now. So role of youth in peace, justice, and equality. Yeah, because we have, heard from the panelists, they are working on justice and equality and peace building. Celebrating all those feminists who believe in youth and local actions. Yeah, it is very much necessary that we do the local actions. And intergenerational solidarity, definitely. Yeah. Expressions of global solidarity among youth feminists. Wow. And today, regarding our space as well, I like it very much that it is intergenerational space, because we youth are conducting it. We are, taking the lead, and we do have intergenerational leadership over here as well, who is listening to us as well. So yeah, we celebrate the day with youth by reading books that give meaning to life and gender. Yeah, definitely. Literature is very much needed. Wow. So we do have 64-year-old celebrating with you. Yeah. So you are youth by heart. So in retrospect, we have achieved a lot in terms of gender equality. We need to celebrate. So yeah, I guess we have a lot of responses over here. Thank you so much. We do have another in the chat box. As a social activist, I am celebrating it with spreading awareness about SR, HR, and menstruation hygiene in young girls. Yeah, it's very much needed. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. It just shows, how we all are celebrating it, and these all are our wins and positivity as well, that what we are creating. So now let's move to the question number 2. We do have panelists. So yeah, panelists, please come again. Yeah. So the question number 2 for you guys is, as a young feminist in the gender justice field, what are the most pressing and urgent issues that we need to address, and what do we need to make this happen? Because, we have spoken about the wins and everything. So let's talk about challenges that keep us up at night and the solutions that fire us up in the morning. So yeah, this is what I want to hear from you guys. So now I'll start from Andy first. Yeah.
I forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you very much for the question. And yeah, as a young feminist in the gender justice field, of course that we are facing a lot of urgent and interconnected challenges. They came from global politics, and they are mirrored in our local realities. First, the rise of well-organized anti-gender movement is now a global export, and of course, Albania is no exception in terms of anti-gender movement. Over the last 5 years, we have monitored and we have noticed that the narratives opposing feminism, comprehensive sexuality education, bodily autonomy, and of course LGBTIQI plus rights have entered in our public discourse, influencing policy debates and even pushing for legal rollbacks, from redefining gender to restricting reproductive rights. I can give you in this year example. In Albania, we try to make some new changes in the reproductive health and rights, and this anti-movement, it was so strong, so the Ministry of Health and Social Protection were forced to stop this kind of changes in the reproductive health that was approved since 1995 in Albania. Secondly, online misogyny is escalating, especially with the AI, with the new social media platforms. Digital spaces are not a safe zone if you are not taking the right measure right now. They are being increasingly hostile for women and girls, with coordinated harassment campaigns, silencing voices, and driving women out of the political and civic spaces. Social media algorithm is something that we'll always discuss. They are amplifying this harm and making it systematic. Third, gender-based violence remains a global and local crisis. 1 in 3 women worldwide and over half in Albania experienced gender-based violence in their lifetime. All the inequalities now are intersecting with new forms of abuse such as digital harassment, making it harder to address correctly. Fourth, the growing influence of far-right political parties worldwide, and of course in the EU, in European Union, I mentioned in some parts of Europe, possess a direct threat to gender equality, as these movements often frame gender justice as a culture enemy, undermine democratic norms, and erode human rights protection in our countries. Fifth, ongoing war and armed conflicts now are more and more present in our life, are reversing decades of progress on gender equality, increasing risk of sexual violence, especially for displacing millions of women and girls around the world, and diverting resources away from feminist and youth agendas. To address this, we need strong, enforced legal frameworks. We need to be more coordinated at global level and coming to local action, and regulation that holds especially tech platforms accountable. We must integrate gender transformative education into school and youth programs to engage more men and boys as allies and ensure sustainable more funds for feminist and youth-led movements. Of course, and critically, we must protect civic space so young feminists can organize without fear and even in times of political polarization or conflicts. Of course, that our generation, the youth generation, cannot afford to be passive. This challenge demands urgence, courage, and solidarity across borders. And if we connect global feminist agenda with local action, we can resist the backlash, confront rising repression, and build a gender-just future.
Thank you so much, Andy, for very motivational response to that as well. So yeah, and now I'll move on to Pooja. Pooja, kindly use one gadget so we avoid the echo sound. We can hear you. I know if your bandwidth allow, please show us your beautiful face as well. But otherwise, we will we'll just adjust with your sound. Yeah, go ahead. No, you are not audible. Okay, Pooja, meanwhile you fix it, we'll move on to Nadia. Please, if you can share your remarks on that.
Thank you so much. I honestly want to echo what my previous panelists have also said. Like the major thing that's currently happening right now is the anti-rights choice and gender movement that is globally influencing all over the world. And we can see that there's such a powerful force because they're well-funded, and then they have strategies on how they penetrate in our countries as well. So if we look at the language, especially when we come to the African context, the language that they use and using our governments to speak that language, such as saying this is an African value, these African values, that's an African. You can start seeing very progressive parties and progressive people or leadership really changing their language and say this is an African, this is Western, and I'm particularly talking about the LGBTI community. So you start seeing such things in the government and the language, which is quite scary because as the layman, how does the layman translate this? And it's othering other gender minorities, othering sex workers, othering everybody, right? So that's what's happening when the anti-rights movement and the power that they possess within this context. So I really also want to see how does that translate to the deeply rooted patriarchal capitalist system that we also live in, because the control and the power that Western countries also have in terms of our medication, HIV medication, withholding and othering other people, othering other minority groups, and not giving them access to such spaces that was accessible, including safe spaces, closed in the context of Namibia when the global US can't happen. All the safe spaces, the provided safe spaces for adolescent young girls and women were closing, where there is no access that where we can't access as well, which is very quite scary because it gives the fear and there's a risk of increased new HIV infections. We also saw within the Global Fund cutting, which the Global Fund is also cutting, that the targeted interventions is more to do with safe spaces. And then there is within the interventions of medication, who has access to medications, there is now a category who is eligible, who have access to it. So this is very scary reality and a reality that we are seeing that's currently happening. And it also speaks to the major rollback of wings that we had as in terms of feminism, in terms of the women's movement, in terms of human rights, right? People's human rights. It looks at the major rollback within, not only within the country, but globally as well. And it, like I said, and it speaks to the power of how organized and how the strategies that they use. One of the strategies that they also use is they use the human rights language, right? They use the human rights language to really cover what exactly what they are doing in terms of the anti-rights movement. And it's a scary thing because no one really knows if this is human rights, if this is for us, but we see the exclusion that they are busy with. One thing I also want to say about is as much as there is progression in terms of human rights, we also see the rollback, and we see this is complemented by the violence on body, violence on autonomy, integrity, and the violence on women's body by using women's body as a tool of control. And it speaks to the level of patriarchy that exists in our communities. And the strategies as a women's rights activist that we use in our country, or me especially, we use a lot of art activism because we believe that the community at large do not have the education or awareness in terms of their human rights, in terms of respecting people's rights. And this does not reach the communities at the grass level that need to understand this. So our approach is really using the Constitution for the fundamental human rights, the Constitution of the country, as well as what the country has signed on the international level with the UN conventions such as CEDAW, such as Indigenous Peoples' Rights, such as children's rights. All of these conventions as a tool, but really translated to the communities for them to able to understand. Because through awareness and education, that's the only way. And we use that, using these tools, we translate it through arts. We use music, we use poetry, but to translate these human rights. And then our other approach and strategy is that really empowering voices within the communities with their human rights, but also giving them courage to speak up, giving them leadership to speak up and claim spaces, building that citizenship accountability, citizenship ownership within your own context for you to claim and be on the table, set your own agenda. So by building that collective power, by first building the personal power, through arts and creativity where it is a language that everybody can understand, that's how we mobilize together and reaching beyond borders and really breaking down borders. Global solidarity at this point is one of the most important things that we need, because we see that everybody within the different movements that we are, feminists, men, every movement, climate movement, that intersectionality is very important because they are cracking down on all of our movements. And there is no more funds, right? So the best way they attacked us was really shrinking our funding, but then it also puts us in the realization of what are the different ways that we can fundraise for ourselves and have collectively work together to build that solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadia. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it was very helpful, to know about the challenges and how, you guys, and what is your lens, how do you see it? So yeah, now moving to Lasana to share your remarks on that. Yeah.
Thank you. D'abord pour moi, Je vais d'abord aborder les problèmes urgents, mais plutôt liés à la masculinité militarisée. Moi, je pense que pour l'instant, c'est ce phénomène-là qu'on doit attaquer et qui gangrène un peu notre société, surtout en Afrique, où les conflits sont nombreux, où les hommes dominent de plus en plus. D'abord, de prime abord, il faut la militarisation des sociétés et des impacts genrés. Donc, le problème là, il faut déjà qu'on règle ça. L'obsession sécurité justifie des budgets militaires astronomiques, donc attribués, tandis que les services sociaux sont sous-financiers. En fait, on attribue plus de budget des guerres et tout, plutôt à des aspects sociaux où les femmes peuvent se sentir un peu épanouies. L'autre chose également, les femmes et les minorités paient le prix fort en fait de la guerre. Quand il y a la guerre, ce sont les femmes qui paient un peu les prix forts. Il faut d'abord violence sexuelle comme arme de guerre, déplacement forcé, destruction des infrastructures sanitaires. Tout ça, ce sont les femmes qui paient là. Parce qu'il faut, je pense qu'il faut attaquer ce point-là. L'autre aussi, ce sont les hommes marginalisés, ils sont enrôlés. Il y a des discours comme l'armée te fera un homme. Ça, c'est une expression purement patriarcale qu'il faut démystifier et qu'il faut brimader, renforçant un modèle toxique de virilité qu'en fait, c'est les hommes qui l'utilisent pour attaquer violemment les femmes. L'autre aussi, c'est l'hégémonie masculine dans les espaces de décision. Comme vous le savez, les hommes occupent les postes de responsabilité dans tous les espaces de décision, que ce soit ici en Afrique ou même à l'ONU, donc dans le Conseil de sécurité de l'ONU, il y a peu de femmes, il y a plusieurs, alors que souvent les répercussions touchent plus aux femmes. Donc, je pense qu'il faut attaquer ce point-là. Ce sont des problèmes auxquels nous devrons attaquer. Ici au Sénégal, je prends l'exemple du Sénégal. Dans le gouvernement actuel, 26 ministres, il n'y a que 5 femmes. Pour vous dire que il y a lieu de lutter sur ce point-là pour que les femmes puissent s'épanouir plus davantage. Peut-être c'est pas le cas de Namibie ou dans les autres pays, Finlande, où voilà, les femmes puissent se sentir plus à l'aise, mais dans les pays africains, bon, particulièrement peut-être Namibie, c'est pas le cas, mais ici en Afrique de l'Est, la plupart sont dominées par les hommes et qui utilisent des décisions un peu qui touchent le patriarcat. Donc là, c'était un peu l'autre également, je pense, et qui commence à gangréner et commence à prendre de l'ampleur, ce sont les armes nucléaires. Vous savez, la guerre en Israël, Palestine et toutes ces guerres-là, donc, impactent de facto les femmes, en fait. Il faut un symbole de virilité masculine qu'on coupe ça dès maintenant. Les essais nucléaires, comme les essais nucléaires qui contaminent un peu les terres autochtones, et affecte disproportionnellement les corps des femmes. Donc, la dissociation nucléaire repose sur une logique de menace typique des masculinités militarisées. Il faut que tous ces points-là puissent être réglés. L'autre pour terminer avec les problèmes et pour en venir avec les stratégies, c'est l'industrie de l'armement et l'exploitation économique. Quand on parle de l'industrie vous savez, quand on parle de guerre, il y a l'industrie d'armement. Et voilà, les conflits armés enrichissent un peu les multinationaux, tandis que les femmes subissent des précarités et perdent d'autonomie. L'exemple du Sénégal en une parfaite illustration en Casamance, où les armées, voilà, on dépense plus d'argent dans les armes plutôt que dans le soutien des femmes. Et là aussi, ça a eu des impacts. Donc, c'était un peu ça. Pour les stratégies, pour moi, les stratégies, donc, ce sont les problèmes auxquels nous devrons faire face et nous devrons attaquer, nonobstant de ce que mes collègues, mes prédécesseurs panélistes ont évoqué. Donc, les stratégies, pour moi, c'est de démanteler un peu les récits militarisés, dénoncer les liens entre patriarcat et l'industrie militaire. Il faut dès à présent s'y prononcer. Campagne montrant que la sécurité ne vient pas des armes, mais de la justice sociale. Exiger la réallocation des budgets militaires vers l'éducation, la santé et la transition économique. Subvertir plutôt les stéréotypes via l'art et les médias. L'art et les médias, c'est une source qu'on peut utiliser pour véhiculer un peu les informations, pour attirer pousser plus de sympathie, entre guillemets. Films comme Au-delà de la survie de Syrie, WILPF utilise ces genres de récits D'ailleurs, même, on l'a testé lors d'une conférence, voilà, WILPF Syrie, au-delà de la survie, et les tapis Malay Karpé, c'est un sportif de WILPF, il est en Afghanistan, qui utilise le sport, voilà, pour véhiculer un peu ses plaidoyers. Féministe pour l'espace de pouvoir aussi. Il faut doter plus de quotas des femmes dans les espaces de décision. Il faut que les femmes aient un quota plus représentatif en fait au sein des décisions. Former des hommes féministes aussi au plaidoyer onusien. Donc là aussi, je pense que ce sont des stratégies sur lesquelles on peut. Et pour terminer, promouvoir des masculinités alternatives, impliquer les hommes alliés. Bon, il faudra, surtout en Afrique, il faudra que ces campagnes-là, pour impliquer plus d'hommes, puissent se répandre, parce qu'en fait, ça manque. Les plaidoyers, s'il y a un ou deux hommes, il faut un groupe d'hommes pour pouvoir porter c'est un vrai défi, un défi auquel on y travaille du jour au jour. Lutter contre le recrutement militaire des hommes pauvres, offrir des alternatives économiques et éducatives. Donc, en grosso modo, pour moi, en fait, il faut briser un peu les stéréotypes et briser un peu le côté de masculinité militarisée pour pouvoir donner voilà, plus de liberté aux femmes et que les femmes puissent être plus représentatives dans les instances de décision. Voilà, pour l'instant, ce sont les problèmes ou même les stratégies auxquelles nous devrons mettre en place voilà, pour l'épanouissement des femmes et que voilà, pour que la lutte puisse être beaucoup plus considérable. Voilà, c'est ça. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, Lasana, for sharing. And definitely in, war and crisis like this, marginalized communities like women and girls and adolescents, they are, are on, they are very much marginalized. And obviously, how much, like gender segregation, everything, it just multiplied by threshold and multiplied, yeah, all the injustices and everything. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And now we'll move on to Pooja. I hope you have fixed your mic. Please go ahead, and I'll request the panelists once again that please keep it shorter within 2 to 3 minutes, so we can hear from others as well, and we finish it on a time as well. Yeah, Pooja, over to you.
Yes, as a young feminist from South Asia working in gender justice, I see many urgent issues both around the world and here in South Asia. So globally, women and girls still face violence like in pay gaps, fewer chances to lead, harmful ideas about masculinity where men feel they must dominate, control, or hide their emotions, like keep this inequality alive. So this is not just a woman's issue, it affects all of us. For this, we need education that teaches equality from an early age, strong laws that protect everyone, and spaces where men and boys can talk and learn how to be allies for change. So, talking about in South Asia as well, even though our laws talk about equality in paper, in reality, women face barriers in education, jobs, and decision makings. At home as well, women still do most of the unpaid care work, and men are rarely expected to help. So, from a masculinity lens, one urgent task is to help men and boys to see that equality starts at home. The change starts from home. So, by sharing household works, respecting women's voice, and supporting women's leadership, is a must. So, for what we have started is like we have, as I've already told, we have started women clubs, started family dialogues, and we've seen boys. We've noticed that boys begin to share the workload of women and actually help. So these small steps can lead to a bigger change. Also, in many remote areas, people are not familiar with the terms masculinity, and when we go there and start dialogues on these topics, um, mm, some may accuse us of disturbing, social harmony because such idea challenge their long-standing norms, and it's very challenging. What's fascinating and worth reflecting on is that in one of the very remote villages in Nepal, which I really like to share with you guys, it's very interesting. In one of the remote areas where I recently went, many years back, they used to practice matriarchy there, matriarchy, a woman having more than one husband. So there used to be a woman lead place. That I'm not saying that matriarchy is good, but at one time polyandry was practiced there, where women could have 2 or 3 husbands. But this change, and now over a time it had changed from matriarchy to patriarchy. So this change didn't just happen naturally. It was influenced by people themselves becoming vehicles of patriarchy. So adapting and reinforcing those values until they become the norm. So this shows that social systems are not fixed. So they can change depending on the ideas and behavior of people they carry forward. So, and if people can shift from matriarchy to patriarchy, then they can also shift towards equality. So if we work together to change the mindsets, from my perspective, I think if we work on changing mindsets, then anything is possible. So from my perspective, 3 things are very important. One is mindset change, another is enforcement of equality laws, another is active male engagement. Mindset change starting from school itself, from the childhood, introducing JC from school, and equality not just in the paper but in reality. So only then gender equality move from being an idea to becoming a reality in our homes and in our communities and in our countries.
Thank you
Yes, thank
so
you.
much, Pooja. Yeah. So, audience, you know the drill. It's time for the Mentimeter, and I'll request them to share the Mentimeter here link, and you guys can share on the Mentimeter or either on the chat. So, what do you think the most urgent issue in your context? What need to be tackled? Yeah. So, go ahead. Okay, so as we are lagging behind the time, so for audience, I have another question, and I'll request that our audience respond to it first. And it's, we have celebrated the wins, we have faced the challenges, so now it's action time. And I want my audience to respond to that. So as we recognize that patriarchal norms and masculinities are a huge threat towards the goal of gender justice society and to achieving the SDGs. So what's the one action you will take after this webinar to support young feminist leadership in transforming patriarchal norms and masculinities? So the Mentimeter is here as well, and you guys can drop it in the chat box as well. So I want my, all the audience to respond to that. So what do you think? One quick action. Yeah. Okay, so we do have funding gaps. Yeah. And people are writing about transforming the cultural norms and practices. Free Gaza, free Palestine. Okay. Men's education about patriarchy. Systemic oppression is the key. Yes. Reaching out to more boys and men, reflecting on masculinity. Yes. Gender transformative approaches. Yes. Yeah. Anti-gender movement and misogyny online safe spaces. One action, continued engagement with young feminist leader and creating and nurturing spaces for their voices. I am a middle-aged. Oh, thank you for sharing that as well. Okay, so we do have in the chat box as well. I work with youth in India and strongly believe that they have a responsibility to promote gender equality. We will continue this process through regular training and capacity building initiatives. Wow, thank you so much for sharing, Manjula. Okay, and our audience has responded to that. So meanwhile, if anyone of our panelists want to take up on this question, but very crisp and very short, we do have more fund on youth-led organization. Okay, so yeah, we have 4 panelists. So I will request who want to come first and very crisp.
I can come first if it is okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah. Very crisp. Yeah.
And in short, you need just a short answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, that I mentioned Youth Voice Network of Organization Albania. We have been committed in the last decade to work on gender equality, and we have a concrete action plan with UNFPA Albania, and to continue the forum Men and Boys Who Inspire. And this year we're going more locally, especially in the rural area, to work with men and boys and women and girls about to educate about gender equality and to fight gender-based violence. A short answer, straight to the point.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So anyone else from the audience want to? Yeah. So we do have in the chat box. I would love to learn more about the experiences of using art and creativity in the work. Yes, Lasana has shared that. Please share any links or resources. Definitely we will share that. So any responses from, more panelists or audience on that one and very crisp one? Okay. So I guess that's all from each and everyone. If no one wants to share, we can move, to the wrapping it up, as we are already finished. We have already lagging the time and we have to finish it on time as well. Yeah. Yeah, building more stronger connections as well. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for sharing it, and each and every one of you were here, and I thank all the panelists, interpreters, even though after the, beside the technical glitches, the technical team and all the audiences and participants over here. So yeah, let's carry this energy and forward it into our commitments and our organizations and our everyday actions as well. So happy International Youth Day once again. Keep resisting, keep sparking and change, and keep lifting each other. So thank you so much. Goodbye everyone. Until next time. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Merci. Bye bye.
Merci à tous et au revoir.
Ciao, ciao.